Super chats here. Jason says, if we hadn't scored 91 goals, we'd have wanted a proven striker. With our play, I'm happy with Sesko, and his skill set will give us another dimension, is what Jason has got to say here. Do you get where they're coming from, Patrick, when Arsenal fans say this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they know their club inside out, and if they feel that they don't need a 20-goal-a-season guy, then fair enough. But what I'm saying is, looking at Arsenal, how close they've been and how good they are, I feel a 20 season ago, 20, I can't even say it probably, but yeah, that will get them across the line. Like, they're so close to Man City, and obviously you need to know that you're going to go pound for pound with the best version of Man City, and then hopefully if Man City drop off, you're right there and thereabouts to snatch it. And it's all well and good saying, 91 goals and this and that, but you can get someone that will guarantee you 20. You should take that all day long, especially where Arsenal are right now. The gal's talking about a £100 million midfielder. That's all well and good, but realistically, goals win you championships. Your defense is watertight. Your goalkeeper got the most clean sheets. That's an area where you're kind of
goals win you games. Defense wins you the league, bro.
Yeah, but
well,
also,
why didn't you win the league then?
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. You had the best defense and you still didn't win it. So to be fair, in my opinion, you need to go big in the striker department. That's what would have got you across the line. I don't think.
My main point is we don't necessarily need Benjamin Sesko to be bagging 25, 30 goals his first season at Arsenal coming in right away. We don't necessarily need somebody to go into that team and just be the finished article and put everything together. There might be a project in certain areas of the pitch. It's just not necessarily every single area of the pitch you buy a player is a finished article. So I'm okay with that. And if I was to ask you, who is that 20-goal striker that you would get? Because Tottenham are also in the market for a striker. Chelsea are also in the market for a striker. There is no clear-cut answer.
We've just named about 3 or 4. We've named Isaac.
Go through them. I'll tell you why each one might not be the right guy.
Isaac is definitely the right guy.
Newcastle won't sell him.
Yeah, but you haven't tested them yet. So you'd say they won't sell them. You don't know what's going on.
Who's especially to say the clubs haven't been speaking?
Yeah, but we're just talking, innit? We don't know the ins and outs of everything.
Okay, what's the next one?
Us to name them. There's Osherman, there's Ivan Toney. That's 3 already.
Okay, let's go back to Osimhen. Let's go back to Ivan Toney. First of all, Ivan Toney just came off half a season where or a year where he didn't play football, and his market value has dropped dramatically. Why is that? Is it one, maybe because people are looking at him, they're saying he might not be the same player we think he is, or is it that people are looking at his age and their profile and they're saying maybe we can get better for the price tag? Also, when it comes to Victor Osimhen, there's a lot of people interested in Victor Osimhen, but why hasn't anybody dropped the money for him yet? Napoli want an extortionate amount of money, and for that kind of money, yes, Victor Osimhen may be more of a finished article, but is he going to come into the Premier League and right away light up trees? Potentially, yeah. But at the same time, you leave yourself short in other areas of the pitch where you can also invest that money. Where 120, 130 million for Victor Osimhen, you might be great, but then you might get a lesser quality midfielder. You might get a lesser quality defender. You might not have your money that can stretch long. For God's sakes, Arsenal is not Chelsea and City that just drop ridiculous money on every player. We have our price tags and we have our prices. And if Napoli's asking for more than what we want, and certain clubs are asking for more than what they want,
drop ridiculous money on every. You don't need to do that. Sorry, go on, Kate.
No, I was going to say, what about that Victor Gyökeres, or whatever you say his name?
Gyökeres, yeah.
Yeah. What about him?
You've got Ollie Watkins as well.
I think they want like 80 million, but I would put him in the same bracket as Sesko. Still kind of, maybe he has a little bit more years experience, maybe 2 more years experience, but I would put him in the same bracket as him. And the price tag and the bargains, guys, let scouts do their job for once. We always say the scouts in football don't do their job well. They don't go and find young players. We always are criticizing potential signings. But the reason why this signing makes sense, one, the age, the profile, the height, the pace, the ability to shoot with both feet, and you're going into a team that you're not necessarily being asked to be a 20-goal scorer right away. It's perfect setting for a young player to come into.
Again, I don't think anyone's saying the signing doesn't make sense. We agree with everything you're saying, but I'm saying for you to cross that line immediately, right now, strike while the iron's hot. Your team is pretty much there or thereabouts. Your defense is watertight, like I said. Goalkeeping situation seems to be solved. You've got you bought in Declan Rice, you bought in Havertz. You just need that 20 goal a season striker to get you across the line. That's why I'm saying you should go for one of these guys.
There's a super chat here that says, no idea why Arsenal aren't looking at Arthur. I think it's pronounced Dolbeck. 6'2", 26, top goal scorer in La Liga, little to no injury history, and a £34 million release clause. I mean, it's 1 year at the highest level. That's the only pushback. But he's had very good goal scoring seasons in the Ukrainian Premier League prior to joining. I mean, I don't know much about him, but I have watched him play a number of times this year, and he does look a little bit special, as you say. 24 goals in 36 La Liga games this year.
Don't have to sell.
Yeah, but he has a £34 million release clause, so it's irrelevant.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know much about him, but I mean, that's a great shout there from AJ. He's not. Yeah, I mean, he's saying Arsenal, but I think he's talking in general.
Can I just say one more thing to Patrick? Though? Patrick, although I agree with you with the Isaac point, I'm just saying the signing makes sense, and you agree on that also, right? But obviously, if there was somebody that would be affordable and reasonable, that's finished and ready-made, we all would be after them. Like, we all want strikers. There's nobody out there that's clear-cut. That's what I'm saying. There's something wrong with every single potential deal that's a stumbling block. That's my point.
Yeah, no, totally. Sorry, go on, Tal.
No, I get that. So some breaking news just come out. Crystal Palace are in talks to sign Bellingham as one of their priority targets this summer. That's Bellingham's brother, by the way. So
you almost got me with that one. You almost got
his
me.
Brother. They want to sign his brother, who I've also heard is very good.
Is that real?
Yeah, Joe Bellingham.
Joby's legit.
I thought that was a banter post. I seen it on one of those banter pages.
No, the Crystal Palace are trying to sign Bellingham. We're just going to leave it at Bellingham. It's there. Arsenal need a left-back central midfielder, 6 or an 8, a right forward and a centre forward isn't the biggest. A centre forward isn't the biggest hole that needs filling, is what Craig says here. That's a fair point. Yes, he's young and unproven, but he's 45 million. I think it's a good gamble. Use the other 200 million odd to improve the left wing, CDM, left side, and left back. But that's also, I think that's also key. But that's what a lot of us were saying at the beginning of the show, Agal, is that you can't judge Arsenal's whole window by this one signing. Now you've got to look at at the end of it, as you say, if you've only signed 3 kids, then it's going to not be a very good window. You sign a top left back, a brilliant defender, midfielder, and a good inside forward, then you're in the money. We're going to come back to some. This here says, Igal, if Sesko is Ibra, is Saka Ronaldinho?
Guys, come on, let's not be silly here. When we talk about profiles of good strikers, we compare players. We're not comparing Saka to Ronaldinho. If I were to compare Saka to somebody, who would I compare him to?
Yeah, who would you compare? What great of yesteryear would you compare him to?
Jovino.
No, I can't really think of somebody.
Come on,
Robin.
No, not Robin.
Oh.
No, I really am struggling for a comparison.
I thought he was going to say like a Figo or something.
No. I really can't figure out a comparison. No, I don't think he's Ian Robin.
How about like someone this is James Milner?
Hey, to be fair, Saka did do shifts at left back.
Utility guy. I like that.
I would say a more creative Sterling, less of a better goal scorer, but more creative.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit like a bit like a Raheem Sterling. I
more
look
creative,
at him
less of a goal. Hey, Raheem Sterling wasn't the best finisher early years.
My view is like, do you know who? Yeah, he's very good, Saka. He's like a much better Theo Walcott. He's like a really good Theo Walcott. That's what he reminds me of. Like decent skill, good finisher, creative. Like Walcott did it in spurts. Saka's far more consistent with it, and that's a compliment, by the way.
Theo, the thing is, Saka's main attribute is nothing close to Theo's main attribute. Theo's main attribute was his physical pace and his ability to be able to get past people. Where Saka's more of a glider, more of a
he is. He does it in a different way, but their job's to score goals and create, right? And I just Saka is better. Saka's got a lot of speed, not as much as Theo, but where Saka's better is that Saka's got a bit more of a football brain. or much more of a football brain, if that makes sense. So instead of just running in straight lines at people, he glides because he knows that's a better way of playing. That's the difference. But yeah,
I'm only fans. They hate the fact that we're talking about Saka.
No, I was going to say, to be fair to Saka, he limps better than any player I've ever seen.
Fair enough.
Was it Henry calls him? Henry calls him Limp Biscuit.
That's it.
I'm only winding up about. I'm only trying to wind a gal about the Walcott thing. That's all I was doing.
Listen, I was right about Sancho never reaching what do you call it? Theo Walcott standards when he signed. If you remember that debate we had.
Well, he's in a Champions League final, so Walcott ain't touched it. He ain't touched it.
In the Premier League, mate. I never said about Champions League. No. I'm pretty sure Terry might remember this conversation. I know it's 2 years ago, but we did have this debate. Theo Walcott, if Sancho could ever reach Theo Walcott's levels in the Premier League, and he never did.
I don't think he's though, considering he's in a Champions League final, one of the key players en route to that Champions League final.
Yeah, but that's not with Manchester United. You got my point, though.
Tommy here says Sesko had 14 GA, Eucharist has 38. They're not the same.
Eucharist is such an interesting one. He's so interesting because he's got championship experience as well, so he can handle. It's not Premier League. There's proof he can handle English football for those people who always debate if he can fit.
What's his finishing rate compared to the other guys? If you still have it up, Terry.
Yeah, let me go and find it now. Let me get rid of Rasmus.
I know he massively overperformed XG this year, but he overperforms every year. Or he's overperformed the last 3. I don't know what he was like before that, but last 3 years.
But you just made fun of somebody, compared them to Darwin Núñez and Sesko, but you're talking about a guy who's in the Portuguese league.
Darwin Núñez had 1 year. Darwin Núñez had 1 year.
34% conversion rate for him, according to this. So yeah, very, very good as well.